Good evening, y'all. Welcome back to the PHP podcast. That's right, the place where the Patriots come together, speak the truth without apology, and take action as we stand shoulder to shoulder to protect God's given freedoms and defend this great nation that we all love so much. I am your host, Jodie, and I am absolutely fired up and thrilled to be back tonight. That's right. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus over summer on and off. It's hard to catch me, but I'll be back in September full time. That's right. So tonight, friends, I am so excited. I couldn't be more excited, actually. I love to have our next guest here. Joining us is a real, true American hero. He is just always such a pleasure, full of knowledge when he comes on. He's a man who has spent decades courageously defending the Constitution and empowering we the people. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Sheriff Mack. Well, hello. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Jodie. Thanks for having me back. I must have been okay the last time.
You were all right. We suffered a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It was so inspiring to have you here. It is always an honor to have you here, Sheriff Mack.
Well, it's my honor. Thank you again.
Yeah.
And,
you have this
work.
Thank you. And, you have so tirelessly fought for liberties. I mean, your leadership is with the constitutional sheriff's movement as well, has been such a commitment to putting our Constitution first. And it's inspired so many of us. I'm one of those people that years ago saw Sheriff Mack running around on the internet and, on Fox and OAN or Newsmax and CNN, I even believe. Like, it was all over the world. And I was like, who is this constitutional sheriff? And one day I landed in this seat and, hey, as God does, he somehow brought you my way through other people we both know. And I have been more involved than ever with the same fight that you are fighting. So blessed to have you here.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah. And I've done all the media, even the ones that are very negative and liars, like CNN. And in my new book, I actually have a picture of Sarah Sidner. Do you know Sarah Sidner of CNN?
No, I don't think
She's
so.
pretty high up. At the time that she lied about me, she wasn't so much, but I think she's been promoted since then. And I think she does her own show now. And she absolutely just totally lied about me and about who I am. And then her story aired on Anderson Cooper. And so she was talking about me to Anderson. And then towards, it was about a 2-minute story, and she interviewed me for 85 minutes. And she came to my home. And I actually want to show you that picture. When she's sitting, we actually switched to my daughter's home because my daughter's home was bigger and she needed more room for her camera people and all her cords and lights and all that stuff. And so I have a chapter in the new book about the media and how corrupt they are. And I talk about Scott Friedman from the NBC Dallas affiliate. I talk about the Arizona State University Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, how they lied about me on a story. I said, I will not do a story with you until you see my entire presentation that I do nationwide to sheriffs and public officials. They said, okay, fine. It's as if they never witnessed one thing about it. They lied. They never even mentioned anything from my presentation, and they lied about me their entire story. And guess what they got? They got several journalism awards for it.
Of course.
And so when we pointed out to Mark Greenblatt, the head of the school there at ASU, the School of Journalism, he already knew they lied. So, I said, because he was there. So we said, we showed you the presentation and you said just the opposite. And so we talked about how they lied. Well, here's the picture right here. This is on page 213. And there's the picture right there of me sitting down in my daughter's home, just a few from my
Mm.
home. And that's Sarah Sidner interviewing me. And then she, at the end of the interview, she goes, "Well, I assure you I'm going to be fair." And I go, "No, you won't." And she took offense. And maybe, and I said, "You're not going to be fair. You've already got this planned, what you're going to say and do. That's why you didn't want to have me in person. And you do 85 minutes and you're going to put 2 minutes together. And you're going to do everything you can to make me look like, um, well, a right-wing extremist racist."
Yep.
And she did. And so at the end of the whole thing, she says this to Anders, and get this, he actually trains other law enforcement and sheriffs nationwide. And Anderson Cooper just about had a heart attack. He was so aghast. "Oh, no, there's no way that could happen. And you know how many times she mentioned, and I told her at the very beginning when we first sat down, I said, the only reason that you and I are sitting down and discussing anything right now is because when I was sheriff in Southeast Arizona, I sued the Clinton administration. I took it all the way to the Supreme Court and we won. We beat the Clintons at the
Yep.
Supreme Court to stop the Brady bill." Guess how many times she mentioned that?
Oh, zero.
You're right, zero. And
Fake
so
newsers.
of course, the way she lied to Anderson Cooper, of course he was aghast. But if she would have ever mentioned, yeah, he trains them about his Supreme Court case that he won against the Clintons. Now that's pretty amazing and pretty well. It adds a lot of credibility to your record.
Mhm.
But of course, she was going to be fair, and so I've always wanted to ask her, what part were you fair about?
Right. What part?
Oh, that my name was really Richard Mack, and that people called me Sheriff Mack. Maybe that was the part she was fair about. But and there's there's several reporters who don't like to call me Sheriff Mack, and I said, "Do you have problem calling Bob Dole, Senator Dole, for such a long time? I know Newt Gingrich still gets called Mr. Speaker, and I said, Barack Obama, do you get mad when people still call him Mr. President?" And so I said, what does it hurt you that people still call me sheriff? Because they have that saying, once a sheriff, always a sheriff. I said, what's the big deal? How does it hurt you? And not only that, after I left the sheriff's office, I didn't intend to keep that name, but everybody across the country kept calling me Sheriff Mack. So I just kept it. And it has become my what? My nom de guerre and nom de plume. And I've written
That's
8 books
all
about that.
we would never not address you by Sheriff Mack.
Well, the one that's the stickiest about that is former sheriff, Sheriff David A. Clark Jr. from Milwaukee. And he tells people, don't call him that. This is Sheriff Mack, and he's earned every letter of that word.
Amen.
Yeah, and I agree with him. I've earned that title, and so
100 times over.
29 years now. It's been 29 years since I was sheriff, but that's who I am.
That's right. That's an incredible story that you have. And actually, you've been very busy because I didn't know about your new book until recently. And I am enthralled. I'm engulfed. I'm on like page 180 or something right now. But let me tell you what. It is. I was just telling Heidi before you got here, and I was like, oh, he's going to come in and hear us saying this. But the truth is, it's one of the best introductions to a book I've read. A lot of times when you're reading the introduction, it doesn't always set the tone of the book. It just tells you a little bit about, why I wrote the book and where it's going. It doesn't set the tone. This is incredible. I actually have it up and I want to read it. Is that okay?
Please
Can I do that?
Yes.
And you guys, you're going to.
I love it when hosts do that and podcasts. Please do. Yes.
I am so excited about it. So I was just like engulfed in this book. I was, you make analogies that's, really, what should I say, hit home so well with me. And I'm able.
Thanks. That's really a compliment. Thank you.
Yes. Let me see. You can't see it, can you? Hmm.
And you know what? So far, everyone who's actually read part of it or read most of it or just read a few chapters, they say the
Mhm.
exact same thing you're saying.
It's
Everyone,
incredible. I was
everyone.
on the introduction right here and I just
Okay.
said, good Lord, I'm dived in now. Look out. And I stayed up late because I couldn't stop. It was really getting to that point. So I'm just going to take the audience a little bit into this. And I love this first line. Okay. So let me just say this first line is legendary. This book may offend many of you, and that may be necessary. We hope the truth herein will awaken all of you, Democrats, Republicans, and all Americans, to our awful and catastrophic situation, the utter destruction and even the intentional murder of America. We know and realize that it is not all of you, but the truth is, it's just far too many. Our purpose is to expose the truth, reverse the trend, and stop the killing. We ourselves are both shocked and dismayed at what's happening in our nation, and our desire is to unite us all in saving our country. We honor the few who stood the onslaught of lies and dishonesty, such as Bill Maher and Senator Fetterman, who have become the voice of reason amid the treachery and treason of the liberal Democrat mob. You may have heard the term demagogue batted around, but it's an old term dating way back to the founders' days and not used as much anymore. The definition may surprise you. A demagogue is a political leader who seeks support appealing to the desires and prejudices of ordinary people rather than by using rational argument. Was there ever a time when the term was more applicable? If you place 100 red fire ants and 100 large black ants into a jar, nothing happens at first. But if someone violently shakes that jar and dumps them onto the ground, the ants turn on each other until all lie dead. The red ants believe the black ants are the enemy, and the black ants believe the red ants are the enemy. When in truth, the real enemy is the one who shook the jar. This is exactly what's happening in America today. Liberals versus conservatives, blacks versus white, pro mask versus anti mask, vax versus anti vax, rich versus poor, man versus woman, Democrat versus Republican. The divisions are endless. The polarization is deliberate and well funded. Who is shaking the American jar? Whoa. Okay. Powerful, Sheriff Mack. Powerful. That right there, I said, oh my God, more, right? Whew. I'm like over here with my readers. I'm all intense. It was, wow, a book we've needed much longer than it's been written. And by you and your associate, I'm drawing a blank, his
Daniel
name,
Perkins.
Daniel Perkins. Wow, you guys have really put some time and effort into it.
Not,
And I noticed
9 months ago, I never heard of him, didn't even know who he was.
wow.
That's what the miracle of this book. And I will just say this: every day we had some sort of thing that happened to him and me, including how we met and his interest in my story. And he asked me if I had written any books. And so, right after we met on a podcast that was totally a fluke, he said, I'm going to send you a Zoom link right after this show. And he says, are you available? I said, yeah. He sent me a Zoom link. And then he said, please show me some of your books. So I did. And in 10 minutes, he said, I want to write a book with you. And the rest is history. And this is the most
Wow.
amazing book I've ever been a part of. It's absolutely intriguing. It's riveting. It's enthralling. And I'm going to tell you right now, between you and me, a lot of this book was just totally inspired. There's no way I could have done this book without the inspiration, with the help of the Lord. And it was. I'm not going to take credit for it all because I'm not that smart. And Daniel had the same thing happen to him. And even how we came up with the title was really inspired. And then even more so, the cover of the book. And
Oh,
I'll be the first one
powerful.
to admit it's a horrible cover. It's a horrible title, and it's going to offend people. But I hope that gets to everyone, to where Democrats and Republicans, all Americans, want to read this and say, I want to know why they gave this title to this book.
The transparency that relay is what is so important. And yeah, it is horrible,
Yeah.
but check out this image. I mean, could it not be more powerful? I mean, this is a powerful book cover, in my opinion. And sometimes everything nice isn't as powerful. If
Right.
showing the truth, no matter how ugly it is,
Right.
is this necessary, then this is where
And
we're
I
at.
had one thing. I showed it to my wife, and she goes, "Oh, that's really horrible." And I said, "I know, but did it get your attention immediately?" She goes, "Yes." And I said, "What would you change about the cover?" And she goes, "The knife isn't big enough. It needs to be more bold so you can actually see the knife."
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
hope people
Yeah.
can see the knife. Maybe we should have made it even bigger than it is. But the jackass is stabbing Statue of Liberty in the back.
And that to me really set home when I saw the cover initially first, because I was on the website and I just said, wow, this is what we feel. This is what we see. This is what for me, 7 years I've spent doing and never been able to put it into an image. And that is exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel knowing what I know now, right?
Right.
I think our problem is we have so many people that just don't care enough to know. And if they don't understand that their liberty and freedoms are at stake, they soon will, should they not join in on the fight,
Yeah.
So there's this select group of people, I'll say across America, that are doing everything they can in every way they can. And I just always, tell people, keep an open mind. We're learning to talk to each other, right? There was never a problem. I could say, hey, Sheriff Mack, it's okay. You're a liberal. Not that, you're obviously not. But let's just say that you were. It's okay. Just tell me your thoughts on this. And I would say, oh, wow. Okay, so I don't agree, but this is why I don't agree. Right? And we used to have these conversations. We did not hate one another, and there's so much putrid and hatred being thrown around. Like when you read this book, you can really understand that it's time to talk again, And you even covered a section on Hillary and Bill. Yes, in this book.
Wait, say that again.
Hillary and Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah,
covered. It was so exciting.
we call it the Clintastrophe.
The Clintastrophe. Because we're gonna do that read too. I want the audience to hear a little bit of that. But before, I have somebody here who works with me who wants to say hello to you, because he's actually at church tonight and couldn't be here to pop in and do a little bit of the show with us. So please welcome my good friend and co-host, F. Simon.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, hi, sis.
Diamante.
Good to see you again. I was just hearing, just listening in on your Clintastrophe. That's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, Clintastrophe. Yeah, you have to know. But you see that, and it wasn't just a Clintastrophe for our country. It was really a Clintastrophe for the Democrat Party. And and so I mean, good grief. And everybody knows the things that Hillary was investigated for, and then for some reason James Comey completely detailed all the elements of the crimes that she had indeed committed. But nobody's gonna prosecute. Which I think he already made a deal with Obama and let's see, Eric Holder, the AG at the time. I think he made a deal with them. Look, there's no getting around it that she committed the crimes, but then we can just say, well, but nobody's going to prosecute. Let's just make a deal right now. Make sure that Eric Holder is not going to allow her to be prosecuted. So they saved her, and she would have I'm sure she would have gone to prison because it was just too egregious and too often, and she didn't care. But the thing that really struck me the whole time I knew Hillary was Whitewater and all that, but her cattle futures trade.
Oh yeah.
And there was a college in Florida. I think it was the University of Florida. I'm not sure which one, but it was a big economic school of finances, and these students actually did the math about her cattle futures, getting her. She put in $500 and got $100,000 or whatever it was, and they said for her to have done that honestly and just normal trade was 1 in 33 trillion. And so we took a page of that and said, for Hillary Clinton to be actually a good person would be 1 in 33 trillion. You know? And that's right there documented in the book. But
It's
Diamond,
incredible.
man, I love this book, and I'm really glad that both you and Jodie do too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I can
brought back-
see him doing some art on this after this terminology, because he does art all over the internet. He'll be one of the best promotions, I'm sure, because he has this word art. And when people use terms, he can turn them into the most incredible pieces of social media you've ever seen. I'm always impressed with F. Simon.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Thank you for coming in here.
This
my
is my
pleasure.
goal, though, for you both. This is my goal for you guys to push this to where we actually sell 1,000 copies of this off of your show today.
That would be incredible. Let's go,
We can do
Patriot, helping Patriot.
Let's do it.
Now look, there's 3 different books, and the ebook that you were just reading off of, I believe, it's only $14.92. Yes, we still love Christopher Columbus, $14.92, and then the audiobook, which is $17.76, Yay, the Spirit of Freedom, and then the paperback that I have here in my hand is $26.76. So we're really pushing the spirit of 76 and the 250th anniversary of our country. And folks, now it's up to you to get this book out there. And I will tell you, get one of those forms of book for you, get another one for your favorite Democrat, and just tell them, just read it, okay? Don't stick up your nose until you read it.
We got to find one that we
need
like
everybody
enough.
to do. Yeah.
I'm like, who do we know that's a Democrat? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
We'll find some.
I certainly have friends and family members who are. I have a nephew that's just an absolute progressive Democrat, just out of his head.
This is a good one for him.
And a
You
few
want me to
friends.
send him one?
I've got
I
a pretty
could
good
gift
friend
him
that is
one.
too.
I'll gift him one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll drop them in the mailbox.
I know, right? Well, we're going to do a read. F. Simon, I know you're at church. I just appreciate you coming in and saying hello to Sheriff Mack tonight.
Yeah, I wanted
Thanks,
to say
man.
hi, Sheriff Mack. Good to see you again.
brother.
All right,
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah. God bless you.
Yeah, he's great. When he knew you were on, he had planned on being here, but he actually does production for his church.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, it's okay. I'm doing the show fairly earlier than usual. We usually go at 9 or so. So anyway, it was nice that he came in to do that. But I do want to run over and read this part that I'm on right now of your book again. It's
Okay.
I was so excited when I was reading it. I was like kind of giggling, if that makes any sense.
Sure it does.
To myself, because I was like, this is huge. Like, this is what everyone needs to know. I believe it was right here. Right around here is where I started. Right past this is where I'm at right now in your book. So yeah, you guys, check this out. The names Clinton and Hillary. This is page 179. The names Clinton and Hillary have become synonymous with the scandals and corruption, and rightfully so. Let's take a look at Hillary first. And this cracks me up a little bit because we forget how in our face this corruption was. Under Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Clinton was named Secretary of State, a big, very important job. The person in the position works with national leaders from around the world and holds a top security clearance. Her communications are protected and secured to the highest degree. She was not allowed to use her personal servers or computers without first deploying all required security measures, but she did not care. She did it anyway, and she was caught breaking the laws requiring her to follow all security protocols. She was investigated by the FBI, and the FBI director at that time, James Comey, pursuant to the Bureau's investigation, stated that there was evidence that Hillary and her colleagues were extremely careless with the handling of classified information. So as you get into this right here, the security culture within the State Department run by Hillary Clinton was lacking in security measures. And as you can see, we get into the full dirt on Hillary Clinton and then eventually Bell. So I'm stoked about it. We're still on 173, and I believe I thought I was on 179. But look, you guys, if you could just see my screen share, there's a section on Monica Lewinsky. You're not going to want to miss out on this book, and you're all going to want to head on over to the murderofamerica.com where you can get the book. It's called The Democrat Murder of America, and it's so properly titled, if I may so myself. Yes, harsh, but hey, we didn't do this to the world. It's just the truth.
And we document it very well where this actually comes in. And obviously it's easy to say how the Democrat Party has destroyed the sanctity of life by their jaded tenet known as abortion. And then they ever actually came up, and this started under the Clinton administration, and Obama really pushed it even further, that partial birth abortion. So literally the Democrats have gone so debased and so towards killing of babies, the most innocent life form on the face of the planet. And they literally say it's a constitutional right for a mother with her doctor, of course, to murder a baby as it's being born. And I thought that would be the end of the how horrible they could go, how far they could go into a degeneracy that would allow for the murder of a baby while it's being born. But no, former governor of Virginia, we mentioned his name in the book, Northam, that he said, well, doggone it, if a baby survives an abortion attempt and lives, well, we'll make it comfortable while we kill it.
It's
horrific. And he actually said that. Mm-hmm. And so they were ready to murder a newborn baby that survived abortion. And so it's gone too far. And I hope they sue us, because I want to say that in court. I hope to be able to say that in court. Besides the other murders that they've orchestrated of crazy people, like Vince Foster and others. No. Well,
I certainly hope they got much bigger problems at stake than worrying about stuff that's being said about them. That's true. Right. I really know that America's in this place of accountability, and if we don't get it, we got a problem. So we're pushing every day for public opinion, and you'll see over and over accountability for the actions. Without that, we aren't going to be, moving forward very much. It's going to keep occurring. We really need to stop now, serve the accountability, and I want to see some indictments served, right? So we're in this situation that America, I don't think the Clintons need to be worrying about what I'm saying, you're saying, or anyone else. They need to be worrying about their own damn self and what they've already done, because it's about time that we get some justice. So the book's incredible. I can't wait to finish it. And I'm getting a hard copy because it's just that good, and I want to own it. And then if I mail it to you, it's only because I want your signature.
Let me know. And
I'd rather hunt you down at an event
I'll be happy to do that. Yeah.
You're the best.
But how long do we have?
We have about another 15.
Good. Okay, good. Because I want to give one of my favorite parts. I don't have one single favorite part, but I've got to do what you did just a minute ago. I've got to go to one of my favorite parts, and it's in the chapter, Socialism is Legalized Plunder. Oh. And I'm not sure our pages are the same, because we've done some editing before we did the hard copy. But on my copy, it's page 102. So if you want to pull that up, that's fine. If not, I can go with this on its own. So no, yeah, page 102 in the chapter 17. Socialism is a legalized plunder.
102. I have
Yeah, next
102.
chapter. Keep going, because it's the next chapter. Yeah,
Okay, here
socialism
we
is
are.
legalized plunder, and then go another page. Let's see. Yeah,
Right
right.
here. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
keep
this is
going.
good too. Yeah, this is
And
good.
so, yeah, is that I can't see where you're at. You
I've
maybe
never had, do you want me to do it? It says I've never had one in any place I've ever lived.
let's see.
It's terrifying.
Oh no, keep going. It's the
Keep
part
going.
about Nikita Khrushchev.
Okay, that should be right in here. Right here.
Yeah, Nikita
Nikita
Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
So folks, look right there in that chapter. Nikita Khrushchev was the head dictator of the Soviet Union back in the late 50s and for most of the 60s. I was a young adolescent. I was like 9, 10, 11 through that time. And this man scared me to death. He was fat, he was ugly, he was loud, he was and he was mean. And he was always saying how he was going to destroy America. So he was his official title was General Secretary of the Soviet Union Communist Party. Now let's go to the next page. And right there it says, you Americans, right there. You Americans are so gullible. No, you won't accept communism outright, but we'll keep feeding you small doses of socialism until you'll finally wake up and find you already have communism. We do not have to invade the United States. We will destroy you from within. Whether you like it or not, history is on our side. We will bury you. Now, and then, of course, I make the analogy there that we don't need communist dictators like Nikita Khrushchev anymore. We have the Democrat Party that is trying to replace our Constitution with communism.
Yeah.
Indeed, with the Communist Manifesto. And that's happening right in front of our eyes. And why are you Democrats, you good Democrats, why are you going along with that?
Right.
You're better than that. Some of you are Christians, and you think that this is okay to kill babies and to become a communist country that we fought 5 wars to stop? My heavens. Nikita Khrushchev, we need to do one thing that Nikita Khrushchev said, and that is finally wake up. And that's why we wrote the book, folks. We love you. We actually love our country. We love the people they're in, and we know a lot of you Democrats are good people. You've got to meet us halfway to help us save our country.
Amen. You know, we see this time and time again. Infiltration within. We don't know who's planted anywhere in here. You know, it's everywhere.
Just 30 million illegal aliens so they can help us cheat on voting. Yeah. How clear have the Democrats in Washington, D.C. made it that we brought these people in for a purpose? And we're not going to let you ask them for identification or to give an address or any of that. We're not going to ask for any of that because that would be racist. There's their demagoguery in the first degree because it's not, and everybody knows it. Even Democrats want people to provide identification. Do you know that to have people vote that aren't citizens is a crime? And do they care? No. They have their agenda. They want to take over America from within. And this is how they're going to do it with the political power of 30 million people added to the voter rolls. It's election fraud.
I'm telling you what, we're in a place right now where it is make or break forever. The next generation and the following generation. And you know, there's so many people just going about their lives. It drives me crazy. You know, there's the soccer moms. I'm a cheer mom. I'll be with a cheer group of girls and moms, and they literally have no concerns other than the Nike Pro socks that they got to go buy their daughter. There's no other thought process to most of these people that have no understanding as to why I would vote for President Trump. And I'm like, well, I don't believe in communism and I'm not a socialist. So,
Right,
you know, you got to pick, you know, what's
Trump,
better than the worst.
I gotta say though, Trump called it right just a few days ago, and he said it several times now. The greatest threat to America is the communism movement from within. That's the greatest threat we've ever had, folks. And he was absolutely correct when he said it. That was one of the most prophetic, powerful things I've ever heard a president of the United States say. President Washington warned us of similar things coming from the corruption of the party system. And we have that in the book as well. And folks, we've got to wake up. We still have time, but this year, you're correct. This year in the midterms could be the end of America as we've known it. The constitutional republic is under attack from within, and the Democrats are doing it.
Yeah. And for everyone listening tonight, seriously, right here it is, you guys. I got it up on the bottom of the screen, murderofamerica.com. You're going to want to give that to your favorite Democrat, liberal. And also, it's a good read for yourself. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Some of it I know, some of it I didn't. I didn't know about Nikita Khrushchev. That was before my time. Yeah. So just, you know, those little facts alone shows you how long they have been installing this into our country, our so-called free country, where everybody thinks we're living here for, you know, we're the freest land that exists in the world, all the things, right? We fight hard for that freedom. So to get on board with that, you're going to go to murderofamerica.com. And get
did you see the part about the greatest purveyor of violence in the world? That was chapter 8. And that was a quote from Martin Luther King. Does everybody know what really happened to Martin Luther King?
Not really. You know, I haven't went down the full Martin Luther King hole.
Yeah, it's
went down with
pretty
him.
amazing. Pretty amazing.
So,
again, chapter 8 gives us the whole story, because that quote from Martin Luther King was considered to be his best and most powerful speech of his life. Most people think 4 years earlier at the Lincoln Memorial when he gave the I Have a Dream speech. Oh. But this one was done in the on April 4th, 1967 at the Riverside Church in New York City. Folks, does that date sound familiar? April 4th, 1967, because on April 4th, 1968, he was murdered.
Yeah.
And why the same date as that date? So he says in his speech that the greatest purveyor of violence in the world was his own government. And he was trying to make nice at the time with Lyndon Baines Johnson. Lyndon Baines Johnson turned on him, as did most of the national media, as did most politicians, both Republican and Democrat. And this was a very difficult time for Martin Luther King Jr. And God bless him for standing for what he believed in, because he was murdered 1 year later to the very day. James Earl Ray, some white guy, was blamed for the murder. And then he recanted. He said, no, it wasn't me. I did not do it. And Dexter King actually went into prison and interviewed James Earl Ray. And he came out totally convinced, as his family was before he went in, that James Earl Ray did not kill Dr. King. And then the question is, folks, who did the King family, his wife, his widow, and his children, who did they all believe, and others on his staff, who did they believe really killed Dr. King on April 4th, 1968? I remember that day very well. Folks, you need to read the book and find out for yourself what really happened to Marilyn Monroe. Read the book.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Or two.
Somehow I missed a little bit of this. I must have been really engaged, but here this one part where they accused Dr. King of being unstable and crazy.
Yes.
I had no idea. So I'm
Yeah.
born in the 70s,
And
prior to
some
my
of the
time.
staff wanted him to go to a therapist, but he said no, and others said no, because if you do that, then the FBI is going to have a field day with exposing that to the public, because the FBI was already monitoring him and wiretapping him illegally, completely and entire illegally. And I asked the question in the book, or we asked the question in the book, if the FBI was doing bad stuff back then, what do you think they're doing now when they have
Mhm.
the technology to do it surreptitiously? And
Right.
folks, this, you got to read this book.
Oh, it's so good. I can't wait to finish it and get a copy in my hands for reference. And I want my husband to read it. I think he's gonna love it. You know, he's
Oh,
our new mayor here. This is his third year, second term.
wonderful.
And I think that he will be quite impressed with this. And
Do
he
you
is
know
a
who I
Sheriff Mack
really wish
fan.
would read it? Every high school student.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
really wish, because they're getting so indoctrinated and brainwashed in high schools today, in public schools. This could really undo it all.
This is a really good book for some of the conservative schools.
Yeah.
I wonder if
No, for the liberal
you know, I'm
schools.
going to be thinking about that because what conservative schools exist that are making their yearly purchases for their literature classes of
Right.
our American authors and whatnot. Like, seriously, there's so many political books. Why not? That's
Yeah.
not an overreach at all. And it would be amazing to be able to have libraries buy this and start stocking, because in the
Yeah.
truth of the matter and the direction we're heading, if all truth isn't told and we're only hearing their side and never ours, or, you know, we're never going to weave and have an opportunity for the population to have an even play field of what's true and what's not. You
Yeah.
know, and you hit it hard on LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, on that, right? And that was something that affected me, because when I was a child, my parents took me not knowing the situation. They were big Kennedy lovers, of course, loved
Yeah.
President Kennedy and suffered through all that before I was born, you know.
Mhm.
Years later, we go to Texas and we have an opportunity to go to the LBJ Ranch.
Oh,
And oh yeah, we're gonna go to the LBJ Ranch. I'm like, who's this guy? You know, my parents are telling me as a child he was a president. He replaced President Kennedy when he was killed. So we're here. We're just gonna go see it. We go to the ranch, and my mom stops about 12 feet away from the entrance. And she's having this, like, I don't know about this vibe she's got, you know, but never really disclosed it as a Christian woman what was going on with her. And I was never comfortable on the property. Didn't know why. And I remember looking at the stone going, why do I feel like this is a bad person? And my dad's like, oh, Jodie, don't say that. He was the president. You know, they didn't know. This was, you know, 70, you know, like, I don't know when he died, but like 80, whatever. And here I am, you know, looking back at that. And as I read the book, it just reoccurred to me the bad vibe as a child I even had on his
yeah.
property. This was a bad man.
Yeah,
And
he
how
was.
dare, you know, like, I mean, this is the man I thoroughly believed was behind the killing and
He
in
told,
with the CIA.
well, in the book, I say he's not smart enough to have carried out the assassination, but he was an evil man. He was quite the racist, and he was the one that switched
Yeah.
the gears to get us involved in Vietnam. Kennedy had already announced that he was going to pull us from Vietnam. He was not going to invade Vietnam. And then he was shot just a few weeks after that. And then Johnson reversed the whole thing, lied about how the danger was really there and we were under attack. And then he made sure that they were not well equipped, that they didn't win, and that it just kept going and going, and that 67,000 young Americans died in that farce of a war. And it's horrible. I had a very good friend, Bruce Foote,
Mm-hmm.
who's from my hometown where I was sheriff, Safford, Arizona, and his family invited me every year to his memorial service. He was killed and was quite a hero in saving others, but he gave his life to save others. But folks, this is the thing. Johnson lied about getting us into the Vietnam War. He continued it because he was a puppet for those who actually shake the American jar.
Mm. Amen to that. I'm not kidding you. The ones that were shaking the American jar, the introduction, it was so grabbing for me to understand that the analogy is something that's been in our face. You know, who has been behind the scenes, you know, really running everything and controlling everything and buying out everyone. And it's very obvious to me. Some of the people that have even tried to pull me their way to do shows in their networks, like they're controlled entities. Like, sure, talk great things, but if you go too far or you speak too much truth, we're going to cut off your monetizations. We'll remove you from the network. We'll do all these things, you know. So I've always stayed on our own. We stayed on our own. We'd like to keep it small here and grow our audience on social media and promote from there, because we never want to be owned by any of these people, and we don't want them in my network.
Right.
So it's a dangerous world for everyone. You know, it really is. If you got a mic and a camera and you got a following, be careful. That's always my warning to everyone. Be very careful who's in your circle. The infiltration is always from within, and it takes a mastermind to even know that they're there, because that's how good they are. You know?
Yeah.
You know, we've seen them at every event. You know, oh, come work with us. It'll be great. You know, and we're like, whoa, no, we're good. We like doing what we're doing, and it's okay that we're not making money, because that's not what we're here for. We are here to save the Republic.
We didn't do this for personal gain. We want to get enough books out there that we can get the next ones printed. Printing costs have tripled since I wrote my last book, and we just really want to push this where people wake up, where we join together. If you'll read the epilogue, read the last chapter first, called The Epilogue. It'll show you how there is very much in existence a peaceful and effective solution for us as Americans. Get rid of the politicians. Do not vote for these same people again. And I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats alike. Do not keep voting for the same people over and over. They create the problem and you reelect them. No, don't. I didn't do that with my vote yesterday in Arizona. Okay, I didn't. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Okay, we have got to vote for different people. Quit voting for the Pelosi's. Quit voting for the Maxine Waters and Chuck Schumer's and these. Adam Schiff. Are you kidding?
Oh man,
he
please
lied
tell me
and
no.
lied and lied and lied. And so what did the Democrats do? Promoted him to senator. He lied, and he intentionally lied. You know he lied. He fabricated that whole Russian hoax thing. Oh, I have evidence on Trump. I have it. The Russians gave it to me. I already have it. Every bit of that was a lie. Harry Reid lied about Mitt Romney way back in the day. And I don't like Mitt Romney, but I don't like Harry Reid either. One was a Republican, one was a Democrat. They're both pieces of crap. Okay?
Amen.
We've got to turn to people. We've got to turn to each other. We've got to turn inward and stand together as Americans. And that is the solution. And yes, we have to meet in the middle, take each other by the hand, and say enough is enough and stand for what's right.
That's right.
Start with the book. You won't be able to put it down.
You won't. Murderofamerica.com, you guys. And before we go, I'm going to shine some light on CSPOA, which is also Sheriff Mack's organization. He's the founder of the Constitutional Sheriff's Movement. It is a grassroots effort, correct me if I'm wrong, within the U.S. law enforcement. It's primarily focused on the county sheriffs that emphasizes strict adherence, I read, to the U.S. Constitution.
Amen.
Especially the 10th Amendment.
Yep.
Right? So, and that idea is locally elected sheriffs serve as the ultimate check against perceived government overreach. So you guys also take the time to go through that website and join with me over there at cspoa.org. Sheriff Mack, you got to come back soon because, you know, I just want to have coffee during my daytime show and talk to you. I adore you. I want to tell you that it is always an honor to have you here. And I want to thank you for being such a beacon of truth, integrity, constitutional fidelity. We're just better, stronger people, and we're more fired up because of warriors like you. And to all my listeners, you guys, if Sheriff Mack's message stirred something at all in your spirit tonight, don't just listen, take action. You're going to want the book, and you're going to want to go over to cspoa.org, okay? Reach out to your local sheriff as well, and support the CSPOA. You never really know what could come of that. Something great could occur during that time. Stand firm in your defense of our God-given rights, and be sure to head on over, like I said, to murderofamerica.com to get Sheriff Mack's new book. And if you guys want to go ahead and drop in chat or DM me, all of my links are under this video. I'll do an actual we'll do a book show together. So we could do the book club again. I'll bring it back for Sheriff Mack's book, only for Sheriff Mack's book. Will I do this? So if you guys want to purchase the book and get involved, then I'll do a book club, and we'll do it for, maybe 3-4 episodes that are separate on the Java with Just Jodie show. Okay. So go ahead and let me know if you purchase the book. And if you do, you will be welcome to join the show for the book party. All right. So all the links for Sheriff Mack's information is down below. Please be sure to click and subscribe and do all the things that helps our algorithm here. So again, Sheriff Mack, thank you so much. It's really a wrap of this powerful episode. Keep bonding, patriots. Keep speaking the truth, and keep fighting for this beloved nation. This is Just Jodie signing off. God bless you. God bless Sheriff Richard Mack, and God bless the United States of America. We'll see you all soon.